Ryan, I know that you run your own podcast, and I'm super excited to for you to share that with our viewers, with our community, and hopefully grow your community because of it. So why don't you jump in, tell us what it
Appreciate
is,
that.
what it's called, and what you're doing.
Okay. So the podcast is called "The Other Side of the Firewall." It's kind of a play on the glass ceiling, right? There's not a lot of diversity yet in cyber. It's getting better. But we started the podcast because there wasn't a lot of people who looked like us that were doing podcasts and YouTube videos and things of that nature. So I actually arrived here during the COVID days. So I was just locked in a hotel room for 2 weeks. I was going crazy. So I decided to start to Zoom with a couple of my friends who are also in cyber, different disciplines. So like my one of my co-hosts, Shannon, he's more on the vulnerability assessment side, and then my friend Levon, he's more into cloud engineering. And then my background is switching and routing some networks. So we're like, oh, you know what? We can probably put something together. We'll just play around with it. And then 2 years later, we're up to episode 276, I believe. We'll debut on Friday.
That's amazing. What are your goals other than obviously you want to showcase the fact that you want to show the other side of the diversity ceiling, right? You want to show the other side
Right.
of that glass wall. But as you've gotten to 270 and beyond, right? As you get to 300, as you get to 400, hopefully, what has the podcast morphed into, and how have you kept the core values?
So I guess when the more thing, it used to be just one solid hour, hour and a half. What we try to do is we try to go over two topics. So just the two hottest topics of the week. Like last, or to say this week, because we were, recording the past and then you published throughout the week. We discussed some new business rules when it comes to self-regulation for businesses that work with the government. So self-attestation is a hot topic now. We discussed the Uber hack that just happened. So it was kind of timely, like, hey, this is what kind of it's evolving into. And then the discussion, uh, I want to say, what was the discussion this week? I believe it had to do with um, just the, I think it was the bringing in of more diverse talent was this week. But I get them confused because we do several weeks at a time.
Of
Um,
course.
but then we kind of round robin and we discussed that as well. But ultimately, it's to showcase and highlight people of color, and the people we bring on the podcast are usually people who are in those C-suite and senior level positions. So the people who have made it past that glass ceiling, and then they're either involved in government of some sort, or they have their own business, or they're doing something like pioneering in forensics. So we bring in those people to also kind of highlight and showcase their talent. And then the offshoot of that, I know I'm being long-winded, but it's called the Ask a CISP podcast, and that's where we bring on people who are breaking into cyber. So people who are trying to cross over from different careers, or people who are leaving the military trying to get a cyber job, or people who are in the hunt um, to one day become a journeyman or to become a C-suite executive in cybersecurity. So that's kind of the pulse of the show, and that's kind of how it went from an hour and a half to now it's uh, smaller, like 15-minute episodes throughout the week. And then Friday we just go into anything but cybersecurity, right? So movies, books, TV shows, like video games, whatever, just to show that hey, we're not you have to do something else aside from just your trade on a daily basis, right? Like we have a passion for it, but what else are you doing, right? Did you read a book? Did you hang out with your family? Did you go on a vacation? Just things of that nature.
I love that you're taking a holistic approach. It's like my fifth question about the retro technology, but even that, you're taking it one step further. Family, books, things that are important but not keyboards,